Hello, good evening and welcome to the delayed flight. I will show you once again, after Vilnius clip, how to perform an ILS landing with the G3X Garmin Avionics and the autopilot which is installed in the Icon A5. Number one, press B. I see that the altitude is not correct. Here is not, actually it is here. We are in Thessaloniki, in my hometown. So the altitude is not minus 420, just press B and correct your altitude wherever you take off. Good. 2. Go here. Let us make it more visible. Okay. This is the third saved camera. Here. Okay. You activate the autopilot going here. You don't activate, actually you bring the autopilot going here. Okay. Anywhere. If you click, here are the functions of the autopilot actually, so you bring the autopilot. You go here and just correct your heading. Here is your heading. You see this cyan is one here because we will have the heading of the runway, isn't it? Which is 280. You use these two knobs, heading up and heading down. We reduce the degrees of the heading actually, and we set this to 280. It is exactly the heading of our runway. We have said that whatever is with this cyan color, this light blue color here, it is active. All these are active. Okay? This is actually the barometer pressure system that you use, to be more precise. So, heading, here is the heading. You set on standby mode. This is standby, it is not activated. Okay? We also set an altitude of, okay, let's say 3,000 feet. We will adjust also some of our settings during the flight. So, I suppose we are good to go, isn't it? And we're good to go. Flaps are set to 15, yeah, good. Only have a look how quickly we took off. Gear is retracted. I try more or less to follow the heading of our runway. And now I activate the heading mode. Here it is. And at the same time I activate our altitude. Okay. Alt V, here is the vertical speed indicator. Let's say 700 feet, exactly here. And this way we can enjoy also the wonderful cameras of the Icon A5. The Icon A5 has some wonderful features. Have a look here. We managed to go out of the plane and to adjust our camera settings, and we have also a view at the beautiful town of Thessaloniki. Yeah, I forgot my flaps, I think. Good. Exactly. We don't have to worry about nothing, okay? I mean, we are on autopilot. We will stabilize at 3,000 feet. The Icon A5 and the Garmin G3X are totally reliable. You don't have to worry about nothing, and actually you don't have even to look outside of your plane. We will have an ILS approach. Exactly, as you see, we stabilized already at 3,000 feet, so we have already a straight and level flight. Here it is. The runway is behind us, and this is runway 10 where we will land, and this runway has an ILS frequency. How do we do this? Here we have the PFD in full mode. You go here, split. Exactly. You see the sign, map. You must press here. and then you go to nav frequency, nav 1. This is the frequency that we will set for our ILS approach. Nav, not com. Nav is the ILS frequency. The frequency of the runway, 109.50. Yeah, it is. I have some notes in front of me. 109.50. Don't forget to press XFER, which stands for transfer actually, as we said. So it is 109.50. Okay, I return to full mode. And I think it is time to have a 180 degrees turn. How do we do this? Our runway is, okay, runway 10 actually. We said that we press here, wherever you want. This is how we bring the autopilot features. And we change the heading to 10. Okay, maybe we will have some adjustments. I use the knobs. Okay, I press here. Okay, runway set to 10. Okay. Now we must activate the ILS frequency actually, isn't it? How do we do this? We press here again on the compass and we change the CDI source from FMS to lock mode, lock 1. And you see that this green needle appears here. We change our heading slightly. We also have the lock indicator here, the lock 1 indicator here. And we can as well descend to, let's say, 2,500 feet. Okay. We see that this green caret appeared. This means that the ILS frequency is active. Yes, it is active, but we are not lined up yet. So we are waiting. Let us try to line up better. Though we are quite far from the runway. We see the runway somewhere here, isn't it? If my cursor is visible, we see that the runway is somewhere here. So let us change again our heading. Everything is on autopilot. And let us go to heading 100. Good. You see that the needle goes close to the center here, this green needle in the middle, and you also see here now is the most important of all. You see that little by little this green caret is going down. Okay, here. I hope it is quite visible. This is the most important of all. Here, this green caret, little by little goes to the center. Okay. The needle is going also close to the center on the compass, as you see, because actually we have both the glide slope and the localizer, isn't it? I can already activate, or maybe to wait. Yeah, I will wait. Have a look. You see, exactly here is the green caret. So, approach. Glide slope here, the indicator, isn't it? I'm hands-free. I reduce my speed. I keep monitoring my instruments, something like this maybe, and the aeroplane descends by itself right now. We don't have anymore the alt mode, the altitude mode engaged, because we turned to approach mode. So actually even the vertical speed indicator, the VSI, is controlled by the glide slope, isn't it? And little by little we descend. You see, here is the indication that we are on lock mode, isn't it? And here is our glide slope, the green caret I mean is established in the center, and also the needle, as you see, has no deviation, and we are going straight, hands-free, to our runway, isn't it? I have this bad habit, I mean, during the most critical moments I like enjoying the scenery for some reason. Perea district, isn't it? Perea, νέοι επιβάτες, and then Αγία Τριάδα, the closest districts to Thessaloniki. Hortiatis mountain, isn't it? Here. The wonderful town of Thessaloniki. Yeah, hands-free. Okay, little by little I must reduce my speed. In general, you know, there is no excuse. Your landing must be below 100 feet when you touch down. There is no excuse with these smaller planes, especially with the Icon A5 and the Cessna 172. Hands-free, everything is on autopilot. And don't forget, we said this also many times, that this plane doesn't have a vertical speed indicator. Actually, okay, you can see here, I don't know if this is visible, I mean here exactly, you see, you can see from the settings of the simulator your vertical speed, but you don't have any instrument. And we are ready to disengage the autopilot. Very precise, extremely precise, good. It is not always that precise. We monitor our speed, about 70 at this time. Okay, I can as well set my flaps. Okay. And I think it is time to... Yeah, I don't have to push it to the limits, though I can.
500.
Okay, I disengage the autopilot. Why not? I don't think I must record my landing, isn't it? Gear is down. Yeah, you see it isn't. Yeah, it isn't. Sometimes you press the lever and still the gear doesn't go down. So always I used to say, check that the gear is down with the external camera. Okay, here it is. 73 is my speed. After the upgrade, you don't touch down, let's say, with 50 and 60, let's say. Okay. I press B to correct my elevation again, and I have a look at the AOA, the angle of attack indicator, okay? Yeah, that was pretty good. So, I think we are good. I think that we will continue with the second part of this tutorial. We go again to the beginning of the runway, 1022, yeah, no, 1028, isn't it? So we go to runway 28 as we departed from runway 28. And we will continue with the second part. I will show you exactly a review of the things that we did so far. Keep notes, otherwise you will keep notes, otherwise you will never learn the G3X Garmin Avionics, which are a little bit rare, isn't it? They're quite seldom. They are quite rare. And it is a very good opportunity to have a look at the other tutorials. I think there will be some bibliography in this clip. Let us set our parking brake. Good. And let us see once again what we did. So, ladies and gentlemen, your patience for a few more minutes just to recapitulate what we saw today. You can keep some notes. It is really worthy to learn to fly the Icon A5 and definitely the systems of the G3X Garmin Avionics. If you want to bring the autopilot, you press anywhere inside here. Okay? I hope my cursor is visible. You see? Here it is. Here are the functions of the autopilot. Let us disengage everything. You see? You press here. It is quite simple. Actually, you have all that you need in order to fly. You have all the basics. You have the heading mode, your yaw damper, the flight director, navigation mode, approach mode for the ILS landing, the indicated airspeed, which is a kind, let's say, of, okay. Actually, it is not an auto throttle, this one. You must also change your altitude. You have the alt mode and you have the vertical speed indicator here. Nose up and nose down changes the vertical speed indicator, I mean your rate of ascent or your rate of descent. Here you set your altitude and here you change your heading. Actually, at the moment, as you see, I changed my heading to 0. No, it is not 0, it is 280. Whatever is blue is active, cyan color, actually. Have this in mind. Okay. Now, how do we find the ILS frequency? That was quite tricky. We said that pressing here we have the full mode. This is how you start. Okay, you must find the map. How do you find the map? If you see here, it is about to show up, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. So you press here, split. You go to full mode and you press split. Here is the map. This is what you must find. You must find the map here. Okay, you see, exactly. Go back to our previous menu here. And so if you press here, map, okay, then you go to your navigation frequency, not the comp frequencies, the navigation frequencies here. Exactly. 111, let's say .10. Okay, XFIR, which is actually transfer, we change the frequency. Maybe it is a 4 VOR frequency somewhere here nearby. Maybe it is not existing. Our frequency was 108.90, 109.50, isn't it? Excuse. 50. Don't forget to press XFIR. Here it is, active frequency 109.50, and the lock mode appeared on the compass. So now we have the ILS frequency and we have actually the ILS approach activated if we press approach on the autopilot, isn't it? So now, how do we change from lock mode to nav mode? Okay, you press on the compass, you see, here it is. You press on the compass here inside. You have three options, the map, isn't it? Split in two with the PFD. And here you have your CDI source. This is your CDI source, okay. So you change from lock mode, you go to VOR or to GPS. This is actually the nav mode. Okay. In the beginning you have this screen here in the PFD. The beginning you have the primary flight display. Okay. If you press here inside the compass, you see, the CDI source appears. We will go back now to the ILS mode. You change, then you go to lock mode. Okay. You are on lock mode now. How do you set the frequency we set? You must find the indication map. So you go to split. Here it is. Here is map. And then you go to nav. I can set the nav 2 frequency. We have set the nav 1 frequency. I can set as well the nav 2. I will use the same frequency, isn't it? Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. 109.50. XFER, which stands for transfer, active frequency 109.50. Okay, you don't have to press enter. I mean, it is activated, isn't it? If you go here and you see the nav 2 frequency, you see that our nav 2 frequency is 109.50. That actually means that both our nav frequencies are set to 109.50, to the ILS frequency of runway 10. How do we check this out? Okay, map. You go to nav 1, 109.50. Map, nav 2, active frequency 109.50. And that's it. Pressing cancel doesn't change something. I mean, your ILS frequency are already established. Now, for instance, if I go here to the CDI source, how do we do this? We said that we click here inside the compass of the PFD, the primary flight display. Here it is. Have a look now. Lock 1, you see, here it is. Lock 2, exactly the same, because we put the same frequency to both nav 1 and nav 2. And if I want to have the map, I go here. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with the Icon A5 and the systems of the Garmin G3X. It is good to install the Garmin G3X Avionics, and that way you can perform an ILS, something that you cannot do even with bigger planes, for instance with the Cessna 172. I have said this also other times. So this is all for now. Maybe I will continue with another clip something sooner or later. Thank you for watching this clip. Hope it was helpful. Don't forget to support the channel, comment, thumbs up. You take care and bye for now.